Kwame Nkrumah gave our money to the Isiswe, the arm wing of ANC. That money could have been used to develop Ghana. Mandela was the one that was coming to this country to collect that money. No, beyond that, there were a lot of comrades from South Africa that were using Ghanaian passports. Because at that time, we were using South African passports. It was very difficult to be traveling around to fight apartheid. We granted them passports to be traveling around the world in our name so that they can go and do business. What are we talking about? Look at the guy in the midst of 15 South Africans being humiliated. Yeah. We do this, and the High Commissioner, having heard from him, we said we have called the foreign minister there. She must be explaining to us why the more than 5,000 South Africans here must live comfortably.
So our South African brothers and sisters are trying to justify their xenophobic attacks on other African immigrants by saying that they are selling drugs and committing crimes in their country. That is what they are trying to base their argument on. I did a video yesterday and people were saying that, oh no, it is not all immigrants, it is, those that are not legal. But we know for a fact that this Operation Dudula that is spearheading the conversation does not care if you are legal or illegal.
Not in a position to allow foreign nationals, documents or no documents, to utilize our public health care facility.
From the videos we've seen, people are not asked, are you legal or illegal? They say, where are you from? That is what they'll ask you. And once they ask you where you are from, they will tell you to go back home. There's a video of a Ghanaian man in which they were telling, we are tired of you leaving your countries, undeveloping countries, coming to our country, this and that and that. And the man provided a document, which I believe shows that he can be there legally, but they still did not care.
Okay, tell me, who's the police officer that you are bribing to certify these things for you? Baba.
They still did not care. So the reason that you are giving that is because they are selling drugs and they are doing this and they are doing that does not make much sense, because that is not what you are actually doing. You are targeting African immigrants that are living in your country, legal or illegal. That is what you are doing. There's a video of these people, Operation Dudula, where someone the lady in the video, I think she's called Victoria, which she says that they don't need foreigners. Either they are legal or illegal. So when you come out and then later you sway the conversation by saying that it is because they are selling drugs or it is because they are committing crime, I mean, what percentage does the other African immigrants in South Africa make? I think it's about like 2% or so. Compared to other countries where we have a lot of South Africans also living. If we all started, rooting them out, legal or illegal, do you think it would be fair? I understand that, yes, maybe there are some people that are illegal, that are living there, residing there, and maybe, competing with your businesses and all that. That is fine. But when you make it a nationwide attack on people that are legal as well, people that are innocent, that does not sit right with me. And it shouldn't sit right with any other African. Because I would say it's a little understandable when the oppressors do it to us. But when we are doing it to each other, and you are telling me that it's because, they are selling drugs. I mean, yes, some people were commenting that they've lost loved ones because of drugs and all that. And I do sincerely sympathize with you. I am sorry for your loss. But you can't tell me that there was no crime before, migration became a big thing. You can't tell me South Africa did not have people dying because of drugs. You can't tell me that there were no crimes going on. And so you can't contribute the crime rates to just other illegal migrants or just to other migrants that have come to live in South Africa. That does not sit right with me. Yes, get rid of the illegal ones. I wouldn't want someone to come to my country and come and compete with me for a job when the person is not even living there legally. That I understand. That I do understand. But it is also getting to a point where even though you are trying to suck out the illegal migrants, you are still affecting the lives of other people. You are still affecting the lives of those that are legal in the country. Tell me why someone can go to a hospital and ask them, if you are not South African, stand up and leave.
If you know yourself that you are not South African, please stand up. Please stand up. Please don't try and stand up right now. Stand up. Sister, are you South African? Are you South African? Because we are going to check everybody. Check them. Look, come for God. Please, if you're not South African, come with me. Come with me.
These are people with medical issues. These are people that probably have appointments. These are people that are maybe legal. They did not ask that question. What they said was, if you are not South African, leave this hospital. And he continued to say, we are going to check. Are you telling me that we don't have security? You people do not have security guards in the hospitals? You can't tell me that they couldn't have prevented these people from forcefully entering the hospital to sack people? What right do they have to go into a hospital and sack them? What legal authority or what legal body gave them the authority to go into a hospital and sack people? And they did not ask, either you are legal or illegal. So that conversation and that argument that South Africans are making is null. It doesn't make any sense. You can't tell me you are sacking illegal migrants, but when you are attacking people, you don't ask if they are legal or not. All you want to know if they are South African. That is what we've seen. Those are the videos that are circulating. Yes, get rid of illegal migrants, but let the authorities do it. If you want to be a developing country who knows the laws and wants to abide by laws, how do you take it into your hands to forcefully beat people, question people on the streets, at the point where people are afraid for their lives in a country that they're also supposed to call home? And I'm talking about people that are legal. So let's talk about crime rates before immigration became a problem. So in the early 1990s, South Africa still had one of the highest crime rates in Africa. So are you also going to contribute that to migrants, to legal or illegal migrants? No, it is a crime thing that is going on in your country. It is something that has already been in existence in your country, and you can't attribute the increment to just illegal migrants or to just other African migrants. But when you sway the conversation from illegal migrants to all other African nationals in your country, then this is xenophobic. It is xenophobic, and you can't have an excuse for it. And we won't tolerate it. If we go to Europe, if we go to United States, we go to Asia, and they are attacking us and beating us because we are illegal in their countries, Africans will talk. South Africans will come and talk. They'll come and say, no, that's not fair. But then why are you doing it to other African nationals in your country? If they are illegal, yes, you see that somebody is illegal and is working, report them to the police. Do what you have to do. In the United States, they have ICE who is rounding up people. Even though I don't agree with the way that they do it, they are legal authorities, okay, that would deport people back to their countries. That is different because these people are illegal and you're handing them over to legal authorities. So as a citizen, you can't just wake up and then you start rounding up people and then you start beating up people for no reason. Excuse my French. In the case of Ghanaians, and I can't speak for a lot of other African countries because I've never been there, I've never lived there, I haven't grown up with, their people. But for Ghanaians, we know for a fact that Ghanaians are such peaceful people. And we can see from the video, the guy that they were interviewed, the way he was calm, the way, it's like, when Ghanaians are people that want to abide by the laws of a country that they find themselves in. When they come to Spain, Okuzeto came here, I think it was last year. We had an interview with him in which he spoke about, having spoken to the government of Spain, and they told that Ghanaians are some of the most law-abiding people in this country, in Spain. And it cuts across. It is not just in Spain. When you go to the UK, when you go to France, when you go to the Netherlands, wherever you go, it is the same. Ghanaians try to stay away from crime. And I'm not saying it's every Ghanaian. Obviously, there are going to be some bad nuts. Obviously. But that doesn't mean that you should just go around, beating people, interviewing people, making them feel unsafe. How is that supposed to work? And so there is an update from the Foreign Affairs Minister of Ghana, Okuzeto. Yes. So he issued this statement yesterday. He said, earlier today, I summoned the acting South African High Commissioner to Ghana, Mr. Thando Dalamba. At the meeting, I conveyed the government of Ghana's strong condemnation of the continuous xenophobic attacks on Ghanaians and other Africans living in South Africa. We are urging South African authorities to take decisive action in protecting the human rights and dignity of our nationals and all Africans. Ghana equally expects that the promised investigations be expedited and all perpetrators punished to serve as adequate deterrents. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs will communicate other steps we have taken in due course. So this is what Okuzeto, issued yesterday regarding the issues that are going on, and I am so proud of the Ghanaian government. They are working. As long as there is an issue that involves Ghanaians, our ministries of foreign affairs are going to talk. Our politicians are going to speak on it. We are going to have some sort of representation because we care about the people. There is a video also that surfaced of our President John Dramani Mahama, in which he was talking about, when Africa united to fight against apartheid, when Africans were contributing to the freedom of South Africa, when Africans were standing behind them. And now, when Africans are coming into your country to work, these are legal people as well, and you are attacking them and beating them on the streets. It is not fair. It is not fair.
People of South Africa do not know what happened before they gained their freedom. The whole of this continent stood behind South Africa. The whole of Africa stood behind South Africa to fight against apartheid. I remember all of us growing up as secondary school children, went on marches. We were part of the African Youth Command. We demonstrated, we boycotted classes and all that, all in the fight against apartheid. Indeed, for several of the countries where their citizens have been brutalized in South Africa, these are countries that were called frontline states that harbored the freedom fighters, of South Africa and gave them safe haven, gave them passports, to be able to avoid the clutches of the apartheid regime. Nigeria.
If South Africans were protesting on the streets, if they were reporting illegal migrants that they know to authorities, I wouldn't have an issue. It would be the best way to go. Yes, we don't want you in our country, and we are using the legal ways to get you out. That would be perfect. These are things that should be left to the police. These are things that should be left to the legal authorities. You guys should bring maybe stricter border controls or whatever, or laws. That will limit the amount of people that are coming into your country illegally. And in that way, you help protect the future, the future of South Africa as well. But when you resort to fighting and beating people, what if people decide to retaliate? They decide to beat South Africans that are also in other countries. If they decide to chase them out, if they go to hospitals and tell them, if you are South African, stand up and leave. You think it is fair? I think history tells us that, when protests start off violently, when people are being beaten, it tends to lead to people dying. I remember there was a case in the United States. I think it was, what's his name? Was it Floyd? There's a guy that was, had a police officer step on his head, and he suffocated and died. During the protest, there was so much violence going on. And this is what history tells us, that when there are protests that start off with people, beating people, people tend to die out of it. So what if you hit someone and they hit their head on the ground and do not wake up? What if you hit someone a little too hard? What if you end up killing someone? Then what? And then you come out to say, we apologize, we are sorry. No. If you have evidence against people that are doing crime, report them. That is it. If you have evidence against people that are doing crime, that are illegal, report them. You can't go into the streets and start misbehaving and killing people and tearing down shops and stealing and looting. What is the point? And you don't have to take my word for it. You can go to amnesty.org. That is the page where, the research, indicates that, people die out of protest and stuff like that. So you can go and verify it for yourself. It's not just me sitting here and just saying these things. This is research that I have done regarding some of the things that are going on. So yes, the issue going on in South Africa regarding other foreign Africans in their country is devastating, and it is sad that this is what Africa has resorted to, or this is what South Africa has resorted to. This is what we are doing. When the oppressors do it to us, we speak for each other. But then when we are doing it to each other, we attribute some claims by saying they are doing this, they are doing that. I'm not saying they are not. Yes, maybe there are people that are doing that. But you can't tell me the issue is just other immigrants. You can't tell me that there isn't someone in South Africa who is actually selling the drugs to these illegal Africans that may be selling, whatever it is that you're saying they're selling. Or whatever crime it is that you are saying that you're doing. You can't tell me that there isn't a South African person that is spearheading some of those conversations. How can you be fighting crime with crime? this is very sad, and I'm sure South Africans will come back again into this video and they will come and comment. And Africans and you people come here and you're doing this, do it legally. There are legal people living there. When you went to the hospital, did you ask, are you legal? You just said, stand up if you're not South African and leave. This is what I think we should do. If you can afford to come back home, if you are African, come back home. Leave South Africa for South Africans. If you have a business running and you can have a means and ways to have people working there, and for you to come back home, come back home. We shouldn't go to South Africa anymore. If they don't want us coming into their country, we won't go into their country. Because if you are saying they are taking your jobs, they are taking this. When we don't come into your country as well, some of you are not going to get the jobs. Some of you are not going to do the jobs that some of these other African brothers and sisters will come and do. Because you feel like you're in your country and some of the jobs are beneath you. So when people come in to come and do the job, and then you complain and then you talk that they're taking your job, and then they are doing this and then they're doing that, you're giving several reasons that do not make sense. When we leave your country, there's still going to be crime rates going up. Because the issue is not just other African migrants. It is an issue that is a root in the South African society, in the country. So you can't contribute that alone to say that we are kicking or we are sacking or other African nationals in our country. So yes, this is the Jollof and Wi-Fi Studios. My name is Flo. Let me know if you have any questions. If you have any ideas, suggestions, put it in the comment section. Follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, and on all other social media platforms. Also, subscribe to the channel for us if you like our content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.